Glowing Up Latina, Season 1, Episode 3.
As my little cousin Ruben would say, we're back with another video. Today on Glowing Up Latina, we're going to be talking about religion, and we're all very excited about this topic. But I do think it's important for us to mention before going in that the Latinx community is not a monolith. People across the spectrum practice different religions. But here on Glowing Up, we really like to speak from personal experience. We feel that it helps us be more vulnerable and authentic with you guys, which you deserve. And so it just happens to be that all three of the women on this podcast grew up in and around Catholicism. Mm-hmm. So that is the perspective that we will be speaking from today. So thanks for coming on. And again, I forgot, I'm Christina. Hi.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Liana.
So yeah, I was just I wanted to get that out there right away.
It's important.
Yes, it is. It's very important.
Very important.
Because I think I told you guys this, but like I was like in high school when I realized that not all like Mexicans were Catholic. I went to church with like my best friend in high school, and we went to like a non-denominational church, and I was like, bro, because all of my friends were Catholic, like
right.
That I grew up with, because I was friends with all the people I went to church with. So we are not a monolith, and I know that there are Latinx people out there who practice all kinds of religions or don't practice religion at all.
Right.
We're gonna get into it. We're so excited. But first, obviously a temperature check. What's going on, you guys? How do you guys feel about today's episode?
I'm excited. I'm ready to let you guys know like where I come from, where I stand with religion, or my own spirituality approach with religion, and how my future husband is not of the same religion as I am. So yes, I can't wait to discuss that.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I was telling Christina this, I was working on like my notes for this, and I was just like, I really need to fix my relationship with God. And I'm not saying that in a bad way or anything like that. I just like, I see the difference from how I grew up to now. So I'm excited to like dive deeper into that concept.
Yeah. I love talking about religion with people. I find it so interesting. Yeah. The history of religion and how many wars have been fought over religion. It's an interesting topic for me. So I'm excited to talk about it in the context of like being Latinx with you guys today.
Yeah.
But as for this week, it was good. Had a good week. Work was chill. Love that. I did actually, somebody sent me an email that so sometimes we have to request checks, and apparently I have been putting a wrong number in this entire time. I've been pulling the wrong number for the last 3 months.
Oh my God.
Everybody has just been letting me rock. And this lovely woman at work was like, actually, you're supposed to pull this number, not that number. And I was like, bro, nobody said anything for 3 months. I'm very thankful for that woman for calling me out. Because I think that's like the first, like, quote unquote mistake I've made. So, still feel pretty good about everything. But what about you guys? How's y'all's week been?
It's been good. I've been struggling feeling motivated at work. So it's just kind of like hard to keep myself focused and all that stuff. I feel a burnout coming, which is like not good. And I'm looking forward to like the time that I took off for moving, because like I could actually like kind of reset, be in a new environment, and kind of like get myself together. So looking forward to that.
That's good. We need that reset button.
Yeah.
Play some Sims.
Oh my God. That is the first thing I'm gonna do.
So how appropriate this week was Ash Wednesday.
Oh, I know.
Yes. So yeah, I went to go get my ashes done. I didn't get to go last year. No, I know. I think I went. I don't know. It's because of COVID. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I got my ashes done. And we decided as a group, right?
Yeah.
to give up alcohol for Lent. Wow.
Don't sound so excited.
Yes. I'm not saying I'm a borracha, but you know,
Oh my god.
we like to go out and hang out, you know. So yeah, that's
Oh no.
weekend one almost down. I think how many hours do we have till before the end of the day?
It's like 2:00 right now. I will say, okay, I was nervous to tell you guys that I was giving up alcohol for Lent because
Why?
we do like we like to get together and we usually like have some type of drink, and you know, I don't drinking alcohol is not synonymous with having fun. But I did not want to be like a
Dependent.
drag at the party, or
Right.
so to speak, quote
Yeah.
unquote. So, but you guys were so game to give it up with me. I was like, oh, this is gonna be so easy. I'm so excited. Yes, and none of us are doing it. It'll be great. But we're gonna go get lobster rolls later, and they have this drink that I love at that place, and I can't have it, so it's fine. It's whatever. Not that big of a deal.
It's
The
fine.
lobster
Have
rolls are
soda.
fantastic.
Yes.
But that is what we're doing for Lent, and yeah, the week that we're recording this, we're getting through the first weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually hasn't been so bad so far. Again, it's the first week, and so.
Yeah.
But I actually did not eat meat on Friday. I was very proud of myself.
Oh yeah, me too.
I went the whole day without doing it. Ash Wednesday, I did forget until I think you sent us a picture of you having got your ashes done. I was like, oh, I ate a bacon, egg, and cheese this morning.
When I tell you they laid on my ashes so thick, I was like, wow, you could not miss me. Like, you could see me 2 blocks down with my ashes. So, yeah. And then everybody around me, oh, yeah, that's right. It's Ash Wednesday. Did you know it was Ash Wednesday? Like, everybody, like, they all saw me and they were like, oh, yeah, it is Ash Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay.
I didn't go to church for Ash Wednesday. I ended work like really late that day. By the time I finished, Mass had already started, and then I'm late to literally everything I go to. So by the time I would have gotten there, the Mass probably would have been over. So, but
It kind of seems like we're already getting into it, so I'm just gonna follow you. I have actually never gotten my ashes done. I don't remember.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know like it was such a big thing until I moved up here, because when we would go to classes or something, well, we went to a Catholic private
Mhm.
school, and
And they
people
didn't
would
take
have
you?
them. Huh?
they didn't take
They
you to
didn't?
school.
No,
Yeah.
no. At college?
No, in
Oh, no, you're
Oh,
referring to college.
yes. No, I went to
not,
public
not like
school.
elementary school. Okay, gotcha.
yes,
okay,
yes.
Never mind. Sorry.
So when people around our campus would be walking around with ashes, I just like I knew like church on Ash Wednesday was a thing. I don't know. It was not a thing that we did.
Like the act of practicing and going to church and getting your ashes done.
Well, just that specific thing. We went to church for we went to midnight mass for Christmas. We went church for all other things. I don't know if it's just because like it's a Wednesday, it's the middle of the week. My mom had 3 kids. Like
Yeah.
taking them to church where kids are notoriously not quiet.
Right.
So yeah, and then I got older and I don't know. I was like, well, I haven't done it before. Like I kind of feel like it's being performative if I try to do it now. I don't know. Because as we will get into it, so for me, like spiritual is like the belief in a higher being, like you know something is out there.
Yeah.
You believe something is out there, but you're not subscribed to an organized sect of religion.
Right.
And religious is like the service and worship of whatever God is in your like chosen organized sect of religion. So for me, I think I grew up pretty religious, but I feel like I toe the line in between religious and spiritual
Mm-hmm.
now. So because I feel like I'm not 100% committed to all of the ideals that come with Catholicism, and because I did not grow up like doing the ashes, I just feel like if I've gone this long, like unless I feel like a deep desire to do it, I'm not gonna do it to be performative, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about you guys? Do you guys consider yourselves more religious or spiritual?
I think at the beginning I was more religious only because I was following what my parents were telling me, and my dad still is very heavily religious. But now I'm more like spiritual, I want to say. I still practice like Catholicism, but I feel like I lean a little bit more towards spirituality because it sits well with me.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Because there are things where I don't agree with the Catholic Church
Mhm.
with there's certain beliefs that I don't agree with. So that's why I feel like now I'm a little bit more spiritual
Mhm.
than religious. So yeah.
I agree with that. I am definitely where you are, where I'm kind of like in between both. When I was younger, I was definitely more religious. I used to go to like retreats and all this stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, I was very involved in there. I was an altar server at church.
Aw.
I was a Eucharistic minister at one point. Like I was part of the choir at one point. I was very, very involved when I was younger. Um, but as I grew up and as I started learning more and like being more open minded and taking in different things, I started to see, we're not. And I used to ask my mom this all the time and be like, why do we believe in this? And why do like um, Hinduism, like Hindus believe in this? Like, why is
Yeah.
what makes our religion more right than another religion? Not that saying that we're
Yeah, no,
You know
I
what I
understand what
mean?
you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
why do we believe in this, but other people believe in these
Yes.
other
Right,
things?
right, right. Do
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hindus say, right? Do
Yeah.
Hindus pray?
So, yeah, and I feel like I've come from a very like similar place. I was very involved in
Mhm.
church when I was younger, and even like at a certain point, it was like my mom and my family had stopped pressuring me to because like I had to do my first communion, I had to do my confirmation, and all of that, and those things. Like I didn't want to go to confirmation. I was like, or first communion classes. I was like, what, 7? I think
Oh,
when you do your
God.
first communion, and like what child wants to spend their
Yeah.
Sunday at
There's-
church? But
yeah.
at some point, it started to become more of my decision to do that. So like to go to youth group, which was like on a weeknight, and my mom like took me. Like she's always been very supportive of like everything that I want to do. I guess not just religion, but like she was very supportive of like me going to youth group, and I taught CCD classes, and I volunteered at church. Like I was very much in it. But like you, Liana, I was just like
There comes a point where you're just like, hold on.
Yeah.
Like, hold
I
on.
think it's normal for every person, like every kid growing up, to be like, "What? Wait a minute! Like, there's
Let's
something
pause for a second.
you guys are talking about that seems wrong. It doesn't like I think very like I guess confession time. When I was growing up, like nope, and I don't remember my parents like talking about it or anybody around me talking about it. But in the Catholic Church, they preach that people should be pro-life, and so like that's what I grew up thinking was right. And then at some point, I think maybe I was like 16, 17. I was like, wait a minute, how are you going to tell people what to do with like their uteruses, like with their
With their
bodies?
bodies,
Like, how are
yeah.
you going to
Yeah.
tell?
There was a point in
Yeah.
my life where I believe pro-life was like end all be all,
Yeah.
like because I would always find like an alternative to the situation, like, oh well, you could always do this, you could always do that instead of doing that, do you know?
Yes, no, I understand.
But now I'm more just like, you do what you need
need
to
to
do for yourself
Yes.
to be happy inside.
Because at the end of the day, like it's nobody's business what you do with
Exactly.
what you do with your body, who you love, like any of that's nobody's business. And I'll say that I'm very grateful for like having the type of mom that I did, because my mom, like, she never pushed any of her beliefs on us. It was very much like, well, you're watching like something that's bringing it up, like figure it out. Like there are resources out there for you to like figure out where you stand on these issues. And I think when I started to do more research into like just everything, like a lot of the stuff that is involved in Catholicism,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I actually don't. I've been following these beliefs because this is what people told me that I should believe in. This is
Exactly.
what everybody around me seems to believe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know. I guess I don't know if I would call my household religious. We did go to church every Sunday. I think at some point, well, mostly because I had to be in CCD classes, and the CCD classes, our teachers would usually be like, "We need to see you in mass on Sunday," and then come to class like you're coming straight from mass to class.
Yeah.
I didn't even do that.
No, and they would call you out
Yeah.
if you. They were like, "I didn't see you in mass. Where were you?" And I was sleeping. I don't.
Oh, no.
I
I never did that to
I
my
remember
CCD
those
kids.
days. Like that's like completing my sacraments was. I'm sorry to say, it was a pain because my I went to elementary school from pre-K to 5th grade. So I was going to CCD classes on a Sunday, and I used to do ballet on Saturday mornings. So
Mhm.
there was no, I don't even recall a time where I slept past 8 o'clock when I was a kid because I was always up. See, that's the answer to my question, to your question. Why are you always up early in the morning?
I had to be at CCD classes, Leon.
My mom had me up.
Just for
I'm
some
ready.
context, these guys wake up so early. They live entire lifetimes before I even open my eyes.
So
Leona gets up and Amanda and I are like, "Oh, time for a nap."
Yeah, like they've done laundry, they've cleaned their entire apartments, like they've done grocery shopping, and I'm here just like waking up slowly and being like, wow, okay.
No, but you're
So,
right.
yeah,
Like I had to be up early. So to me, like continuing with CCD after I was no longer like quote unquote required to by my parents, it felt natural.
yeah.
But around that same time, I was also like questioning a lot of I was questioning life in general. You know, you're an angsty teen.
Yeah.
Like, I have a lot of questions about the things that are going on around you. But so would you go to church a lot growing up?
Like going to church, yes, yes. Every Sunday, and my mom used to make me wear skirts. I'm like,
Oh.
Ma, I don't want to wear a skirt
Like dress
to
up.
church.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd be like, no, you have to wear a skirt. You're not gonna wear pants. You're not gonna wear jeans. I'm just like,
So there were no nice pantsuits for little Amanda.
oh wait, thank you. Oh my God, yeah. So we would go to church every Sunday, and I just wanted to sleep in, and that was no such thing. And it wasn't in like, I guess as I got older, um, my mom was like, let's go to church," and I just like looked at her and I was just like, I don't want to go. If I'm gonna go, it's because I want to see God. I want to talk to God in His home on my own time. Like, don't pressure me into going. Like, I talk to God as it is. Like, but let me do my own thing. Let me rock.
Mhm.
And she like, I think that was the moment where she was just like, okay, I'm not gonna pressure you into doing this. Okay, fine. And it stopped. And to this day, like, do I go to church every Sunday? No, I don't. But do I talk to God every day? Yes, I do, because I need His holiness. I pray. I pray on my own time, and it's not only when I need like a miracle to happen, right?
Right.
I do it because that's my way of also keeping sane. That's how I practice my religion, you know. So, but going to church every Sunday, yeah, that used to be a thing. Ugh.
Yeah.
Were you in church every Sunday also?
Yeah,
Yeah.
every Sunday. For Holy Week, that was the busiest time because we were in church literally every day. Thursday Mass, the longest Mass I have ever attended to this day. Because it's
See?
like,
Maybe I was more mild then because see, I don't remember doing Holy Week.
oh my God.
Oh, we
I
did
think
Holy-
there
did
were
Holy
things
Week.
we were strict on and then some things that we were not.
I remember it. Like, my dad was so big on it. Like, he used to be like, he leave work early so we can all go to mass for Holy Week.
Wow.
And Thursday, Holy Thursday is like the longest
Yeah.
Mass that week.
Because they repeat the.
Is it Stations of the No, not Stations of the Cross.
No.
Last Supper.
Yeah.
Last Supper, and then they do the washing of the feet.
Yeah. The kissing of.
Kissing of the
Kissing
No,
the
is
cross?
that's Friday then. That has to be Friday. Oh gosh, you see, look at us.
Washing the feet is definitely Thursday.
The washing feet is Thursday, but I'm not sure if Good Friday is. I think Good Friday is when you kiss the cross.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they give Eucharist.
They don't exactly.
Look at us. We're fine.
I mean, I should be fine. I was in a private Catholic school from middle school up until high school. Went to public college, then went back to private Catholic college to finish my bachelor's. So yeah, like I should get this right.
I think maybe if I had gone to like a private Catholic like school growing up, maybe it would have been a little different. I probably would have, I guess, done things like Holy Week or go get my ashes. But yeah, so maybe we weren't as strict as I'm remembering. Maybe we were more like in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, lax is definitely not the word I would use. But I feel like religion has always been like a little tricky for me. I think when I finally like gained some autonomy and I was able to make like my own decisions on what to do, like right at that time, I was like, it was like that time came up, and then I was also having a crisis of faith at the same time because in my family, I want to say it was like a little bit before I left for college. I feel like to say like our world imploded is a little too drastic, but also that's what it felt like at 18. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'll get into it one day at on the podcast, but for right now, we'll just say that like my whole family was like going through it. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was like distressing because I was about to leave, and then I was like, it wasn't like I left Wichita and that weight fell off me. Mm-hmm. It was like I still had it, I still carry it, I still carry it to this day, but it was less about me in that moment, and it was more I was watching how what was happening was affecting all of the people around me, all of the people that I thought were really good people that I loved and cared about, and I was like, if there is a God, then like why is this happening?
Oh my God, that's like my number one question.
Yeah.
For like
if he's supposed to be benevolent, if he's supposed to be like all caring, why is this happening where these people are like hurting, and not just hurting, like heartbroken? And I remember having a conversation. I'm pretty sure my mom and I were like in the McDonald's drive-thru, and I straight up told her, I was like, I don't know if I believe in God, because I feel like a God that I believe in would not allow this to happen.
Right.
Would not, like, this would not be our path. Mm-hmm. And, you know, again, my mom, she was very much like, you have to take the time to figure out what your relationship is, because I understand why you feel this way. I understand why what is happening is essentially like rocking your world. So you have to take the time to sort that stuff out. Like, you're always going to question what is happening.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to find the middle ground for yourself. And there have been things since I left that have also like made me question. There's world events that have made me question, like, where is God? And I think one time somebody, like, because again, I told you I'll just talk about this stuff with people, but like one time somebody was like, at the end of the day, like, it's blind faith. Like, you are allowing yourself to believe that something is there. And it's almost for like a peace of mind, because honestly, like for me, like the alternative that there is nothing is so much scarier.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, so
I find it a little odd when people say that, okay, well, once you die, that's it, there's nothing. And that thought scares me.
That scares me.
Because I like to think that there's an afterlife.
Yeah.
That we somehow come back in a different being. I could come back as a freaking lamp, but I'm still here. I'm still on Earth. You know what I mean?
Don't you worry. I'm coming back.
But I'm gonna come back. We come back. We become part of the Earth again. We still have purpose somehow in the afterlife. That's how I like to think of it.
I also think it's nice to think in an afterlife, because there's still people that I miss that aren't here with us anymore. Yeah. And I love the belief that one day I will get to see them again. Mm-hmm. I love it. And if for anything, I cannot give that up. I can't.
Yeah. And going back to when you said people ask, like, they question God, why are you putting me through this hard time? Why am I going through this? And it makes you lose hope. And I see that a lot with people who lose family members, and they tend to get lost. But I encourage those people to try to believe. Maybe it's, you're gonna, like you said, you'll get there. But Don't hold that grudge or that animosity, or what's the other word I'm trying to think of? That
Resentment.
resentment. Because I also like to say God does not give you what you can't handle.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like you're going through this to make you become a stronger person. It gets hard before it gets easy.
I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna push back on you just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think, I don't know, for me, you can have that resentment, be angry, be upset. People sometimes say that everything happens for a reason, but also sometimes things are just senseless. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason for why we go through hard times, and I think it's okay. I think it's healthy to be upset with God and to, again, like, have that crisis of faith, I guess, if you choose to believe. I think it's okay for you to have that. I would just say don't hold on to it, because in general, holding on to resentment, holding on to anger, it's not good for us. It doesn't benefit us in any way. But sometimes things are senseless and it sucks, and there's really like no other way to describe it, or there's no bigger picture for it. And I don't know if that makes me jaded. I don't know like
No,
what, but
because again, for everybody listening right now, they could feel how you feel and they could feel how I feel. But again, that's just we are voicing that there's more than one opinion out there. You know, on how to cope and how to grieve and how to manage your situation. So yeah.
Well, okay, so what was y'all's like kind of journey with religion after you gained some autonomy? Like after you were able to make your decisions for yourself?
Well, like I said earlier in the episode, like I feel like I need to fix my relationship with God because, like, as you all know, like I was very much involved and now I'm not so much anymore. Um, and I definitely feel like I'm in the situation where I'm driving the car and God or Jesus is like sitting in the passenger seat and being like, yeah, I don't think you should do that, fam. I'll be like, well, I'm doing it anyway.
You gave me a suggestion. That's okay.
So yeah, I definitely look at religion as like a guide now more than anything, rather than something to practice.
Like a strict, like, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more just like, it's more of like a direction, you know, like you could do this or you can't do this, and it's up to you to like decide if you want to do that or not, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely have to fix that. I want to go to church more. Norn and I haven't gone in a really long time, and I don't like that. So we're gonna try, hopefully.
I found that there are times when I feel like I'm called to go to church, like something is pulling me to go to church, and I've always found that like in those moments that I don't know, I call it fate, I guess,
Yeah.
but whatever is being spoken about, whatever is being preached that day, I find that it resonates with me like so much. And I think one of the last times I went to church when I was home, because I usually go with my Mimi and my Grandma Cruz. They were there, and I was like actually like
paying attention.
Crying. Well, I was that. I was
Girl.
crying, and I was like, and I'd never done that before. I'd never like felt so like one-on-one, the Father and I. He was like, let me get
Reading
into your
into
brain.
you.
Yeah. That was a nice moment, and I feel like that it kind of pushed me to see that like maybe I don't go to church every Sunday. I practice Lent. I do my very best every year. And maybe I don't do things like get the ashes or go for Holy Week and stuff like that, but my relationship with God it's going to be unique from anybody else's, because it's ours. And like Amanda, I feel like I'm always in conversation with him, and I can at least, I guess, find peace, or I don't know what the other word is I'm looking for, but that I don't call on him for just the big things.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So, and I think, I don't know, I feel like there are people out there who would be like, oh, like, why do you believe in it? But like I said earlier, like for me, the alternative that
There's
like
nothing.
we're literally just out here doing it. Nothing is helping us or watching us, and don't want a life like that. That's a lot.
That's scary.
Like, I also had one of those moments too, where right before I got this new job, at my other job, I was just like losing interest. I was not motivated to go to work. I was going through some like self image, you know, battles. Like, I was battling with myself with a lot of things. And one day, I got a notification on my Facebook that I follow my church on Facebook too. And I got a notification that Mass had started. And that day, yeah, something just like something called out to me. I was just like, okay, let's listen to Mass. And oh my God, I can't remember the reading, but like that reading, the priest's homily that day, like he read into my soul. And I was at my desk just sobbing. And my cousin at the time, because we worked at the same place, and she came up to me and just like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And I told her, you know, how I had been feeling and what, you know, the priest had just said. And I guess like we always wonder, like, does God have a voice? And you know, we may never know. But that day, like, I believed heavily that I was like, yo, he spoke to
Yeah.
me that day and was like, listen, you need to listen to this. And after that, like, I something changed and I got a new job. I got so many things changed after that. Like, I started to feel more positive about my, you know, about how I looked, how, you know, getting applying to new jobs. So it, man, like, God is there. That's how I see it, and from my experience, from my point of view, you know. But going back to like autonomy, I told you, after I told my mom I just want to go when I'm ready to go, when I want to see God. That changed for me a lot, and I I think I was still I was, yeah, I had to be in high school too, and I was already dating Constantine for like 3 or 4 years at that point, and um I knew then. I was like, well, I'm going to continue to date Constantine, and Constantine is not Catholic. I know. He's Jewish, and he's not a strict Jew. Um, he's, I would say, like more modern day of Jewish faith, and he is like myself, where we just, I shouldn't say where we just, but we celebrate the high holy days. He does Passover, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and I decided that I'm going to continue to stay with him. I'm going to be with him, and it doesn't matter to me that he's of different religion. It didn't make me like want to change my religion, um, because like the the Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible. It's the Old Testament. So I like to think that we have the foundation.
Right.
We have the roots. We share those roots and foundation, and you know, in our religion, and we can pass that on to our children because we have the Ten Commandments. You know what I mean? Like, those are
There's
things.
a lot of similarities.
A lot of similarities. So that's why I was just like, we're like the same person, Constantine. but I chose to continue to still be with him. Like, that religion wasn't going to be a factor into why I shouldn't be with Constantine.
Yeah.
And like you said, you like learning about religion, right? I remember like early on in our dating, he had said, yeah, we're gonna have dinner for Rosh Hashanah, and I was like, oh, can I go? His mom was just like, if she wants to. I mean, I'm not gonna say no to that. And I went, and I got to like experience how they celebrate Rosh Hashanah, how they do Passover, and let me tell you, I love it. Like, it was just so cool to experience and like witness firsthand another religion.
Right.
And they basically like say the same things, like, you know, same beliefs as we do, and I was just like, wow, this is so cool. So yeah, that's like my autonomy, doing my own thing.
Yeah.
Embracing other people's religions. Also because you never know where life takes you. Like my kids, like I wouldn't even put that on my kids too. Like what Constantine and I plan on doing is, um, showing them a little bit
Of both.
of both. And it's up to them when they get older if they want to stay Catholic or stay follow Judaism, or hell, if they want to become Muslims or Hindus, like that's on them. But at least they got to experience both. So it's on them on where they want to go with that. And then I don't know who they also will like fall in love with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they can be Catholic, they can be Jewish, and they can be with somebody who's of a different religion. But at least like if I'm open minded and know more about other religions, I understand like what that other religion is about, what that other person's beliefs are, and why they continue to be of that religion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like, again, I like learning about other religions and continue to stay open minded about that.
Yeah, I think with my kids, like so far in my mom's parenting, everything that she's done, that's probably the approach that I'm gonna use. So yeah, I think with religion, I'll probably like have them do their sacraments, just because first of all, if you want to get married in Catholic Church, you have to do your sacraments.
Yes.
And so I when I was doing my confirmation, there were adults who wanted to get married in the church, and were having to rush through their sacraments so that they could get married. So, just a little like safety net, because nobody wants to rush through all that at the last minute, especially when you're an adult and your life is busy.
Also, I just want to say, like, going back to sacraments, I think it's very ironic that I had to wake up every Sunday to go to CCD class to complete all my sacraments so I could get married in the Catholic Church.
She looks so mad right now, you guys. For those who are not watching the YouTube video, like she looks so angry right now.
I am not getting married in the Catholic Church.
Oh my god!
Because Constantine is Jewish and they won't let me get married in a Catholic church. So.
But see, okay, this is one of the things though that for me, I'm just like, I don't fully understand it, and I feel like I didn't necessarily have a full-blown crisis of faith again in college, but like I had like a mini one because I went to Italy with the school and we got to tour the Vatican. And when you first step in of your course, your breath is like taken away. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. But then I'm there and I'm just like, wait a minute, like Catholicism, it preaches like that you're not supposed to have excess greed, like you're not what is the word that I'm looking for? Like gluttony, I guess, but not
you're not supposed to like want more than what you have.
Yeah, like, and everything is so extravagant and gold. My God, there's so much gold there. And
so you can have gold, but I can't have gold. Are you joking?
It was just, it was like a transformative experience for me, and it was one that made me like solidify that maybe you're a little more spiritual than you are religious. Again, like I said, I toe that line so much.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But I was just like, the tenets of Catholicism is that like you're supposed to help and uplift the poor and care for people. And it's just like, how much is being done when you have like all of this like massive display of wealth? It was very it was very conflicting for me. And I was like, is my religion, like, is it a lie? Like, do I not know what I'm doing? Am I doing this wrong?
You can't help but to
this
question
is why I
all
always
of
ask,
that.
like, my mom. Oh my god. This is why I always ask my mom, like, who's to say like our religion is the right one? You know, I don't. By the word right, I don't mean like we're the end all be all, because I know that we're not. But it's more just like, how do you know that, you know, our religion is what it is, and like, how do you know, like, when we die, that there is going to be this, there is going to be that? I like to think that there is. I heavily believe that there is, but it's just like, I ask those questions because I need to know in a way, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I also believe in you, where you were like, oh yeah, I believe that we come back in the earth in some way. And I like to think of that too. I don't know. I'm all over the place, really. It's just, but I'm always asking those questions. It's just like
Yeah.
I don't know if what I believe is like the end all be all,
Mm-hmm.
because there are things that I don't believe in religion.
I also feel like, for me, kind of like what you said, religion gets hard because I'm a person who needs to know why.
Yeah.
Why did this happen? You know, why is this person like this? Why did this person
We
do
played
this?
21 questions.
Yes,
Yeah.
I need to know, and I need the path. I need to be able to trace it back to like one singular thing. Religion is so many open-ended, like not just Catholicism. Religion is so many open-ended questions, and again, blind faith. And I feel like where you said that you need to work on your relationship with God, sometimes I feel that because my faith, more or less, for the most part, is not blind. I want a reason. I want to sit down with this man and be like, just tell me what is happening. Why is this happening? Where is it going next?
Yeah.
And that has always been a struggle for me when it comes to religion. And you know, I think when I see how strong, like, my Mimi and my grandma and my great grandma, their faith is so strong. Like, I'm sure they've had crises of faith at some point, but these women, to me, on the outside, they just seem to so sure of what they believe in. And I really, I pull a lot of strength from that because these women have lived whole lives many times over, and they have just been able to take it for what it is. And I feel like if they can do that, then I can do that as well in my 29, 28 years or so of living. Like, I can do that as well. So it's nice, like, you know, you said you went to retreats and stuff, and I miss, like, kind of being in a church community, because I feel like when you're around people who kind of understand where you're coming from, it makes it a little easier to, like, oh, this is why things are happening. This is, like, these people have, like, I guess it pulls strength from them.
Yeah.
To, like, have that same blind faith. But again, like, do
I
want to be at the church like, you know what I mean? It's not even do I want to be at church every Sunday. It's that sometimes, like, the things that they say, I just don't agree with. And I'm like, bro, like, and it's like, do you have to agree with everything, I guess, is the other part. I don't know.
So, like, I had that little tiff for a little bit. I would say, like, maybe a little over 5 years ago. I was a little, like, I shouldn't say a little, I was, like, very upset with the church. I was watching a lot of documentaries, and, you know, I don't want to get into this, but I do. So, right, so I was a little upset at the church because there were things going on that were being hidden and being swept under the rug, and I couldn't find myself to step foot into a church, any church. It didn't have to be mine.
Or trust the people.
Or trust.
Like,
yes.
I was very upset. And it took me a while before I could step foot into church again. But that was because, again, I had I wanted to go and I was ready to go back into church. So yeah, there are a lot of things where I don't agree with the church on. So, and just to go back, I'm not upset that I can't. It's not Constantine's fault that I can't get married in the church. It's because of the rules that the Catholic Church imposes that I'm not, you know, I can't get married in the Catholic Church because I'm not marrying someone of the same religion. That's why. I just want to say that it's not Constantine's fault. It's not. We can't help who we fall in love with, right? And we're taught to love all men. Sorry.
All men.
Not all men. All men.
All humans.
All humans. For who they are, right? To be a helping hand, to, you know. So there's a lot of contradictions that also where I ask why. Yeah. So, yeah. So, again, Constantine, I love you. I love Constantine's family and their practices and their religion. So, yeah.
Well, if you couldn't tell from this episode, we have no idea where we stand. We're very conflicted. Religion is a hard topic. And honestly, like, you weren't the only person during that time period who was going, like, a lot of people left Catholicism because of the abuse that was taking place. And even today, like, news stories still come out about how they were hiding stuff. And I gotta say, it's hard. Like, I don't know. I think it's something I will always struggle with, or like, I don't want to say be on the fence about, because I feel like I have to say, like, my belief in God is very firm. That I know I don't waver in.
Yeah.
It's just, am I a practicing Catholic? Am I a lapsed Catholic? Like, do I just talk to God when I want to? It's hard, because, which will lead us into rounding us out today. Where I stand with religion today is so precarious, I guess is the word I want to use, because sometimes, like I said, I feel like something is calling me to church.
Right.
And if I am not practicing Catholicism or what have you, like, there is no, like, I don't know, like, where would I be called to? You know what I mean? Like, there's no home,
Right,
quote
where do
unquote.
I gravitate still to? Yeah, I got you.
Because for the most part, I do feel a connection to God in the way that I choose to practice that faith. But sometimes, like I said, I am called, and like, where do I go? I think is what I struggle with. Like, do I try out other religions? Do I find a nice bench in the park, and like that's where I go to practice that, like what I would do in church? You know what I mean? It's hard to. I don't know. I have no answers. I have none. But where do you guys? Where are y'all with religion today?
Where do I fall with religion today? I practice it the way how I want to. Others should practice it the way how they want to, which if it's by the book or not by the book. If you are more spiritual than religious, then so be it. We cannot tell another person how to live their life.
Yeah.
But we're all human. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. And if religion is our outlet, then that's our outlet to go and pray to God. And if we feel like looking up at the sky is also our outlet, just to be like, oh, today's a new day, or I'm not feeling this type of way. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I see it spiritually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm more on the spiritual side now, but in hopes of becoming a little bit more religious down the line. But I am definitely like you said, like my faith that there is a God, unwavered. You cannot tell me this or that. Like, I know that there's something bigger out there. Has to be something bigger than just us. You know, that's what I feel in my whole heart. But again, it's just like, am I a practicing Catholic? Like, am I just, yeah, I practiced Catholicism when I was raised, but I'm not really like there right now.
Hardcore.
But that I'm more in touch with like my spiritual self than I am with my religious self. So
There is no resolution to this episode, you guys. I don't know what to say. But we would love to hear y'all's thoughts, what y'all think. Because, as we said, this is a topic of interest for us. And I'm sure at some point we might revisit it.
Yeah.
There's so much more that we could talk about. But we limit ourselves to an hour. But, of course, we cannot end without asking you guys what is making y'all glow this week.
Oh, I get to go get my nails done. That makes me feel like listen. Getting my nails done is just another way to express my I guess maybe that's how I express my creativity, is like getting my nails done and maybe doing new things, like new designs. And I'm so excited to go see my nail tech next Sunday. So I have a whole week to get through, but I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to try and tie like a mini bow on this episode by bringing us back to there's this song that I love to listen to when things are just, maybe I'm not having a great day, or maybe things are just going horribly awry. But Ooh Child by the Five Stair Steps. God, I love that song. It is
It's a good one.
so pretty. I like music obviously for its lyrics and stuff,
Yeah.
but when things are pretty, oh my god, it's great. The song it's like a classic, so I'm sure everybody knows it. But again, it'll go on our playlist for maybe when you're having a bad day.
I just want to also add to my glow. I don't know if it'll make me glow through the week, but like I see it on TV a lot now. There's an Applebee's commercial and it's a country song, and I think about you all the time, Christina, because you sent me that country playlist. So that's why I asked you. I was like, can you send me the country playlist on Spotify? So yeah, and it's not even actual. I don't think it's a real song. It's just like a jingle for Applebee's.
Maybe. I feel like I know what commercial you're talking about. I'm gonna look it up while Liana
Yeah.
tells us while she's
And
going.
I love listening to it. Every time it comes on, I'm like, oh, okay. Constance's like, you're so weird. I'm like, leave it alone.
Let's see, what's gonna make me glow this week? So this past week, I had stopped going to like the gym as often as I was going. So this week, I'm definitely going back. I'm gonna take my pre-workout and take my protein. I'm gonna eat really well, and I'm gonna go to the gym and get ready for July when we go to DR.
Walker Hayes is the guy that's. But I actually don't know this song, so I don't know if it's a actual song. But Walker Hayes is a country
It
artist.
just puts me in a good mood every time I hear it. I'm like, I can't sing the song now on the top of my head, but like, we'll listen to it later. But yeah, love it.
But yes, that is what's making us glow this week. Thank you guys for sticking with us through another episode. We love it.
Yeah, and remember, you can catch us every Wednesday wherever you listen to your podcasts. Leave us a glowing review. We love to hear from you guys in all ways, in all
Forms,
ways.
in all forms.
In all forms.
And you can also find us on Instagram at Glowing Up Latina. You can send us emails on how you are glowing this week, or maybe even your approach to religion or spirituality. Your spirituality journey. Yeah, I should say. You can send that to us at glowinguplatina@gmail.com. And take a look at our new photos that we took at our photo shoot with Clyde. Clyde's camera on our website glowinguplatina.com. Okay, so yeah.
Until then, keep glowing, mija.